Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are all totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we have the Knight of Cups. This is the giving and receiving of love and affection. Okay? This is somebody who is putting themselves out there, taking a chance, offering this sort of gift to the world. It's like you've made your gumbo, right? You've made your masterpiece, and you're taking it in your hands and you're offering it to people. Okay? It could be that you're in some ways professing your love for something or someone. I feel like this is a card of kindness. This is a card of knowing what our gift is and being brave enough, passionate enough, really, to put it out there, to share it, to start to do it, to kind of, it's like we're raising our hand to volunteer to do something, I think you're somebody with a lot of passion, a lot of creativity. I think you're very compassionate as well. Like, I feel like you like helping people. Yeah. And I don't know if that's maybe not a typical trait for a typical Capricorn, right? But you're not a typical Capricorn. Everybody, we may share similar traits with the signs in which we are born, but everybody is a unique kind of assembly of divine energies. Okay. A unique configuration. And I feel like you're very almost charitable. I feel like you volunteer. I feel like you do some kind of charity work, or you have some kind of maybe it's really just kind of being of service in your life generally to people, that you like to help, you like to offer what you're good at, to help other people. And it's not transactional. This is somebody that is just kind of presenting this as an offering, even, really, right? So let's see what you're doing. What are you offering to the world? And what are some of your perhaps obstacles this week? Whoa, 10 of Pentacles. That's not much of an obstacle, is it? Let's see. We've got a Knight of Swords. You've got the Emperor. You've got a Queen of Cups. And you have an 8 of Cups. Okay, maybe the 10 here is an obstacle in the sense that there are resources that are needed. Without the resources, I feel like you might not be able to give the gift to the world. So perhaps this 10 of Pentacles that's coming into your life, this is let's say, the resources that you need in order to continue along this path. Now here we have some more fire energy. The Luster Strength card, a Princess of Cups, a 4 of Cups, and a Hanged Man. I think the Hanged Man here is quite an excellent final outcome, because to me it's kind of like there's nothing, we've sort of greased the wheels with the Hanged Man. Like, there's nothing in the way. There's nothing resisting the flow of this energy. Okay, it's like you're asserting yourself, you're getting the resources that you need, and this might be the idea of like short-term goals for this bigger picture, long-term kind of outcome that we're looking at, like this big picture thing. Well, we need resources in order to do it. So we might have this very fiery energy now, this very assertive energy now, saying, I'm going to go out, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to get what I need. So that once you get what you need, you can let go. You can surrender to this, that things can just flow and you can allow yourself to be sort of carried away. It's the way an artist, may need to gather some resources. We kind of have to, in some ways, we have to build the foundation of our life in terms of our health and our well-being, our finances, so that we can perform the great work, so we can do what we're meant to do without any kind of, with, let's say, as few obstacles as possible. Okay? Because I feel that, I feel like you have a little bit of a starving artist vibe going on. Yeah. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll set it over here with Jimbo the Lizard King right there on top. I can do anything except look at that card until the very end of the reading, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, you put your prediction in the comments down below. We can do it together, okay? Now, as we look around the room, the major arcana really do kind of, tell that story in a way. It is an initiation of a path here with the Emperor card. This is us with the authority, the will, and the drive, to start whatever this is, right? The kind of the decision that we make, the power that we feel that we're capable of doing this. It's a surge really it's a cardinal fire, right? So it's motivation. And then we have a sustained fixed fire energy with our lust card here. And this is our ability to, to have the discipline and the control to not burn out, but not to, for our flame not to get blown out either. So it keeps the flame burning nice and bright so we can continue on this path, because we do have a lot of water here. Okay. Even the hanged man at the end is the water there. I feel like this is us asserting ourselves, putting all of our effort into something, and the hanged man then at the end is sort of the surrender and the letting go, and I kind of feel like it's a mystical experience. I kind of feel like it's the realization that the means, right, are justified by the bigger picture, justified by the end here. And so we are we're focusing perhaps right now, Spirit's perhaps trying to get you to focus on the manifestation. We got to manifest the resources we need, the people, places, and things that need to be in your path in order for this to work. And once we can gather these things and create these things and put them in place, then we can sort of surrender to the water energy and surrender to the flow. Okay? Because that's what we have here, fire and earth here. So we have our three majors. We don't have any other fire cards. Okay? What we have is water, 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 water. Even this is some water. We have no air, right? No air at all. We have a little bit of earth. So this, I feel like it's a very emotional situation. And because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 court cards, and together the court cards as a group say, there's a lot of people here. Who are the people? Are they your friends, family members? Is this your coworkers? Are these your employees? Who really is kind of involved in this with you? Because I feel that maybe you're on a kind of a mission right now to secure these resources for your family or for your business. Okay, that would be a very kind of that'd be a very prudent interpretation of our emperor back here in the recent past. Okay, so let's talk about the emperor. In the recent past, I feel like maybe this was you stepping into a bit of a leadership role. Maybe this was, you're the head of the family, or you became the head of the family. This is maybe a promotion to a new department. Maybe this was you kind of as a business owner. I don't know how far in the past this was. But whatever the situation is in your life right now, I feel like you're in control. You're the leader. You're the one that's responsible. You're the one that it kind of is going to suffer if it doesn't work, right? Because all the blame's going to come back to you, And that's kind of the responsibility of the business owner or the leader or the boss, the head of the department, the supervisor, manager, whatever we might be talking about, the head of the family. It may not be your fault directly, but you're going to be the one that has to answer for it. That's the emperor sort of energy. And so I feel like you have this leadership role in your life, whether it's with family or with business or your employment. And the job of the emperor now is to ensure the success of the company, to make sure that the resources are there. It's kind of like, everybody has a boss, right? So your boss is going to say, show me the numbers. I don't care what all these feeling, a lot of water. I don't care what all the emotions are. I don't care how everybody's feeling, but what are the numbers? Yeah. How much did we make? And it's kind of like, well, we should be able to make 20% more this year. And the emperor's job is to kind of like it's say the CEO or the head of the family, right? Is to just make sure that things are as abundant as we can for those people that are depending on us. Okay, because I feel that's what these court cards are all about. People that are emotionally tied to you. I think it's probably a family thing more than business, because there's no earth cards here, except for that one, obviously. There's not a lot. There's no swords. There's no earth. It's mostly just the water. That's primarily what we have in the reading today is water, right? But in order for the water to really bond and work out and bring itself together, I think we're looking for resources. And I think the Ten of Pentacles is here. This is what crosses your path like this week. And I think it's going to be a lot of abundance. It's going to be a lot of alignment, a lot of ways that your energy, your kindness sort of is going to pay off, okay? I feel like you're setting up business deals. I feel like you're networking with people. I feel like you're making things happen. You've got your boss energy, and this is that magical circuit, fire to earth, right? And this is kind of saying like the emperor, okay, I've got to go to work. I've got to put in the overtime. I've got to bust my butt. I've got to do extra right now. It's because I need the Ten of Pentacles. What do we need it for? I think it has something to do with the life, the long-term life that you're trying to create. Okay, could be that you're raising money for a fundraiser, a foundation. It could be that you're raising money for charity. Could be that you're raising money because we need to fix the roof on the house, right? Or whatever it is. Oh, we need a new car, so now we've got to rally together. We've got to bust our butt, and we've got to get these resources. Okay. What I feel like this combination is saying is that this week you're really going to see a lot of return on the work that you've been doing. A lot of it, And what I started to say with the Knight of Cups here is that it feels like you're just kind of volunteering. It feels like this is just, you're like doing things just to do them, right? And I wonder if this is kind of the vibe because, well, you're getting paid for it. So it's like it's not charity. You're not just volunteering your services and there's no return. There's nothing coming back. I feel like you are being very, very well rewarded for what you're doing. And but I feel that's not why you're doing it, though, okay? Because this isn't just like a money grab. This isn't just greed. This isn't just like, I got to find a way to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. I feel like you really feel like you're giving something to the world. You're doing a wonderful service for the world, and you truly are. So whatever it is that you're up to, feel no guilt about accepting the payment for it, right? Because what you're doing is a big service to people. Okay, people like that. I don't know if you're doing something with, maybe some kind of energy work or healing work. Maybe you're doing something, maybe like Reiki. Maybe you're doing, I don't know if it's something in person or not. It kind of looks like maybe, yeah. It might be that you have a shop or something, or I don't know if you have like a bookstore or you have like a candle shop or something. I feel like you have a small business. I feel like you're a small business owner, okay? And I feel that everything is going to be wonderfully, wonderfully successful for you. And I think this is the week that you're going to see a lot of those things come in, because for some reason, I feel like you really need it right now. Because in the immediate future, we have this Eight of Cups, and I'm worried about this Eight of Cups for you, because it feels like if I don't get the money, I'm kind of screwed, right? This is kind of like I'm not too hopeful for tomorrow. So it's like this better pay, this better work. Like I'm not usually a materialistic person, but I need to pay the bills, or I need to do this thing, or start the thing, or fix the car, or whatever it is. Okay, because it feels like if we don't, we're kind of going to be in a little bit of a bad way. Yeah. But I think the good news here with that Ten of Pentacles is it's coming in. Whatever it is, it's happening. Okay? So this, I think, is our fear of tomorrow, right? And it's kind of, well, it's not, we're not sure how it's going to go. We're not so hopeful about the immediate future. Okay. The Knight of Swords underneath the surface. Now, collectively, the court cards are all, a group of people, but individually they represent an aspect of your energy. And your energy is one that is making decisions quick. I feel like we don't have any time to waste. I feel like we have to make a big shift. We have to do it now. Everything needs to change right now because there's some sense of urgency here. This is a quick decision. Okay? This is somebody who is not going to waste a lot of time thinking. I don't have time to think about it. I don't have time to analyze and do the calculations, for the next few days to see how things may likely turn out. I need to do something today. I don't have a lot of time. So I feel like your time frame's really short. Spirit keeps telling me this week. Okay? Because you're making a decision that has been very almost impulsive. Right? I feel like it's been a very quick decision to do something that, maybe just jumping into some, I don't know, if you got a second job or if you just kind of volunteered for something else or for some overtime or whatever it might be. There wasn't any hesitation. You're kind of jumping on the opportunity. You're saying, yep, I need it. Yep, here I am. You're not letting anybody else kind of get in the front of the line here because you need it more, right? And the Queen of Cups is showing that you're a very sensitive person. You're a deep person. You feel things very deeply. This isn't selfish. This isn't the typical Capricorn lone mountain goat just trying to get to the top of the mountain first, bumping everybody else off the mountain. No, this is like, I really do need it. Okay? And the Ten of Pentacles is... well, it is that wealth. It is that abundant success. It's more than what you were asking for. And in some ways, there's almost a little bit of a guilt. Like it's almost like that's too much for what I do. Spirit's telling you to accept what you're being offered. Okay, because it is fair compensation for what you are giving in, what you are sacrificing, basically. Right? And that's part of our Hanged Man too, and that's part of our Knight of Cups too, sacrificing. Right? Sacrificing. Giving of ourselves. Not expecting anything in return, but, feeling very blessed that we're getting it because we need it. Right? And the Queen of Cups is us, in a way, analyzing our emotions, being very honest with ourselves and saying, this isn't just surface level stuff. This isn't shallow end stuff. This is deep. This is like, I care about this, whatever the situation is. I feel like, again, there's a lot of people here. I feel like you care about these people and you're willing to do whatever it takes to bring in this abundance, right? Willing to make the sacrifices in order to secure the future of this family, of this business, of this, I don't know if it's like an animal shelter that you run or something like that. But it's not for you alone. That's the idea here. There's other people that are benefiting from this. It's almost like you're not even taking a paycheck for yourself. You've got to do this for other people, other reasons. You're not going to go buy yourself a fancy jacket or a diamond ring, maybe a meal, but a modest meal, right? And so it's in service to something else. Yeah. Something else that you care about more than the shallow end or the surface level stuff of life. Yeah. And so that puts a real importance on what you're doing now. And the Eight of Cups, of course, in that future position, saying, I don't know what the future is going to bring, but I have to do my very best to make the future a Ten of Pentacles, right? And a Ten of Pentacles isn't just money, but this is kind of like our vision of the future. We're trying to build the best life here, trying to give your family the best life. You're trying to make this business, you're showing it the love that it deserves. Do you know what I mean? And so when you love your business, what? You want it to grow. You want it to be healthy and successful, right? You kind of little tear down your cheek. You're proud of the business that you've created, You want to see it thrive. If it's your family, obviously, same thing, more so. It's your pets, your plants, whatever it might be. Those resources are coming to you that are going to allow you to continue building this thing into the best that it can be. Not just money, okay? This is a life of wealth. true wealth. And, that's relationships, that's the love, that's the creativity, that's the people, right? The pets and the plants. So the Eight of Cups, we're trying to necessarily avoid that. We're trying to find a way to not, sort of crash into this swamp. Okay, but I feel like you're kind of planning for the worst. You're saying, okay, you know what? If this Ten of Pentacles doesn't come in, how am I going to handle this? Because this is probably not going to be good, right? I'm very hopeful that this Ten of Pentacles is coming in for you and that this will be avoided, but it's very smart for the Emperor to plan for the worst case scenario. If you plan for the absolute worst that can happen, you won't be surprised. You won't be caught off guard. You'll be prepared. Okay? Now, going over here to the Path of the Serpent, we start with the Strength card. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. This is discipline. This is a fire that keeps burning. This is a strength and this is a pride and a capability. This is a passion as well, right? So I kind of feel like this is a more kind of calm, assertive energy. This is almost like a frenzy. This is almost like a frenzy, right? This is somebody who is just, trying to control themselves just enough, but is just a fury of energy as you're doing something, right? We're almost letting ourselves completely loose, And I think that you're the kind of person that you're very creative. So I think wherever this is coming from, it's a result of your creativity. Like you're finding very creative ways, let's say, to make money and to get this thing secured, to do this thing, to make it, to bring in this abundance. Let's say that, okay? So I feel like it's a very emotional time for you. I feel like other people are affected by this situation, and you kind of look at it, it's my job to figure out how to pay for that. I don't know, like we're paying for paying for our kids' braces or something, something like that. It's not for you, right? It's not a selfish thing in that sense, but these people depend on you, and you're going to find a way to make it happen, And you have this kind of energy about you. And this is the kind of energy that just doesn't quit. It's a fixed fire energy, okay? So it's sustained, and it's something that's fuel. This is kind of like kind of like the parent's love for the child, which just is like you can stay up for days and days at a time. You can you can move mountains, you can lift cars up over your head, because that's how we get fired up when it comes to our loved ones. Yeah. Now the next card is the Princess of Cups. Okay, and it kind of feels as if these are something to do with your children, maybe something to do with some kids that are kind of in need of something, right? So it's kind of that idea of like, well, the braces, or maybe we have adult children, and they sort of need us for something, and we're going to find a way to help them out, to do it. Maybe this is kind of like I don't know, we're gonna help them buy their first home or something like this, or get their first car, or help them in some other way. This is also the card, I think, for you that's talking about you experiencing and being open to experiencing the mystery and the magic of life. Like it's kind of asking the question, how are you experiencing the divine in your life? How are you experiencing the magic of the moment? How are you experiencing the extra in the ordinary life? In other words, as you're doing this sort of work, this fire and earth, and this is, look, this is all business. This is all business. This is saying like, I'm going in, I'm running this thing, and I'm going to make some money. Very manifesting in a very literal, material way, right? Very all business, baby. This is the card that's saying, let's not forget about our connection to the people. Let's not forget about our connection to, whether it's friends, family, coworkers, our connection to the divine, our connection with the universe. Let's pause every once in a while to feel what we're doing, and not just get wrapped up in the manifesting of the Ten of Pentacles, but just to kind of feel the joy in a way, feel the kind of mystery of it all, that we're we're creating something, you know. Because like I said at the beginning, with this Knight of Cups, you're someone who is sharing yourself with the world. You're giving a service. You're giving something of yourself to the world. And I feel like this is now you witnessing the miracle of that, you know. Witnessing the miracle of you being able to manifest something, you know, and make something really work. Like I just wonder with the Ten of Pentacles, like, did we ever think that this kind of abundance would come in? Like, again, with you got the Eight of Cups in the future position, that feeling like hopelessness, you know, like I'm not so confident about tomorrow. But then as this comes in, like, make sure that you have that kind of make sure you witness this and realize that it is Spirit working through you. Okay? That's kind of the advice of the Princess of Cups. Like, be open to the mystery and magic of life right now. Okay? Now, the obstacle for you is the Four of Cups, obviously. In a situation that feels this urgent, we don't want to react emotionally. We kind of have to sort of ice our heart a little bit, so that we're not out of control. We're not frenzied or frantic, which is, it could be, you know, part of that Strength or Lust card. So this is the card of saying, hey, it's a very emotional situation, but right now you've got to kind of put your emotions aside and do the work. You know, do this part of the work and make it all business. You know, and so it's kind of like we're not going to be so preoccupied with how we feel, even though it's a very emotional situation, right? But we're not going to be preoccupied with how we feel. We're going to try to almost compartmentalize the emotions while we just get down and dirty. We get to work. We get down to business and we do it, okay? And then I think what is coming for you is this surrender, is this release. And to me, this feels like redemption. This feels like the tension of the Emperor and the Lust card is being released. And this is us just kind of like getting into a hot bath at the end of the night and thinking, I was able to do it. It feels like a whirlwind. It feels like you're busting your butt like just nonstop 24/7. This is the release of that. Right? This is the Ten of Pentacles arrives, and you can let go of all of that urgency, all of that tension, all of that fury and frustration is just melts away, right? To me, this card right now feels like bliss. I know it's a card of suffering and sacrifice and stuff, but it's the feeling of bliss when the suffering and the sacrifice are over, right? When the suffering and the sacrifice are over. And you can say, oh, I did it. Maybe this is like a weekend rally, overtime at work. This is that time of year. You're going to have to work like 72 hours straight, no breaks, no sleep. This is the feeling when it's all done. And you can just sort of sink and melt into your bed or into the shower, the hot bath, you know? When the suffering and the sacrifice are over. This is that feeling. Okay. Let's look at the mystery card. Mystery card, Empress life, right? I feel like that's kind of where we are here. Because of your devotion to this thing, you're getting it done no matter what it takes, no matter what the cost, you're getting it done. Because these people depend on you, and because this is what you're capable of doing, and there's no one else that can do this, right, but you. So I would really like to see the Empress here, but you know, if it's not, we won't freak out. Let's see what we have. The Six of Swords, good, because we didn't have any swords cards, right? So I feel like this is us on top of the emotions, right? Being supported by our emotions. In other words, if I didn't care about these people, I wouldn't care about doing this work, okay? So we're being supported by the water. We're in the stable boat of our material life, and we're pushing the boat with the stick, with the staff, with the wand, the fire, our will, right? And of course, we have our swords on the boat with us. The swords are the worries, right? The swords are the doubts. The swords are kind of all the individuals that I have to worry about, okay? And it's through our sheer strength, resting on our emotions, our love for this group of people or for this thing or the business or whatever it is, You're on top of the love. The love is supporting you physically, right? As you push through this by sheer willpower, the fire. Okay? In order to bring what you care about, those things, those people, places, or things, pets, plants, people that you're worried about, bringing them to the other shore. Okay? I like this. This is also the card of the divine plan. This is also the card that says, I've got a framework. I know how to go about doing this. It's so, in a way, it's very rational. It's kind of saying the emperor has a business plan and it's going to work. The emperor has a business plan and it's going to work. Okay. I like this. I think this is the perfect confirmation card. We're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do some oracle cards. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. There's a link up top. There's a link down below in the video description. New readings for Capricorn, usually on Thursdays and Sundays. This felt like a big shift. It felt like it needed to be a bonus reading for you, okay? I came back into the studio to do this. You can tell my voice is already pretty gravelly today. If you want to watch all of these readings on the website, go to doveandserpenttarot.com or find me on Patreon. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. These readings are just totally free, okay? Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.